What's going on, everybody? My name's GiraffeAnatomy, and this is another Smite quick god guide. Today, the god we will be looking at is Chiron, the Great Teacher. What we're going to do is we're just going to go over his abilities and how they kind of sync up together. We'll go over his passive, each of his abilities, his ultimate, and then hopefully the goal is by the end of this video, you're able to take him into an arena, joust, conquest, or slash game and be able to use him effectively, kind of know what his kit and his abilities do and how you can play him in a play style, right? So without further ado, let me get into jungle practice here. What I'm going to do is choose Chiron. Although I love the moose skin and I love some of his skins, he has some of the best ones. I'm going to play the default one for you guys here, so you're not confused on abilities or anything or what things look like, right, when I'm using them. Chiron is considered a hunter in Smite. This means that he is a long-ranged physical damage dealer, and his basic attacks are long ranged, right? So his main form of damage, normally when it comes to hunters, it's usually building like auto attack speed and damaging people with your basic attacks. And although Chiron does that very well, he also does something else very well, which is he can be an ability based hunter. You'll find a few hunters that have really good abilities that they can use, and you can build different items on them because of the way that they use their abilities, and you can build him less attack speed oriented and more ability oriented, right? Other gods that do this are like Medusa, Uller, certain gods that just have really good abilities that you're using all the time, that you can use for damaging people. They work well on these kind of gods. So I will talk a little bit more about builds later. We'll just get into his abilities and his kit in general first. So let me do this. I'm going to level everything up, get to level 20, level up all my abilities, and then we're going to talk about his passive first. Then we'll go through all his abilities. Then we'll talk a little bit about how you can build Chiron. So first of all, you saw as I was talking my passive meter filling up, right? You saw like these leaves start filling up. So basically this is Chiron's passive. It's called Herbal Medicine. Every 12 seconds, Chiron collects herbs for a poultice, which I don't know what that is. It sounds like a medicine or something like that, right? Or medicinal medicine. Each time he uses an ability, a poultice is consumed to heal himself or an ally within 30 units, based on who has the lowest health. So if someone's near you within 30 units, and 30 units is like this, right? It's like right around here between like me and this Odin. It's pretty close. You have to be really close, right? So more often than not, you're going to heal yourself unless you're in like a team fight or your support's right next to you early on the game. If they have less health than you, they will get the heal. If not, you get the heal. And when you heal them, or whoever the allied is that gets healed, he also gains physical and magical power, right? For that short duration. So first of all, the healing per consumed stack is 30 plus 5 per god level, right? Once they're over level 5. Then you get physical power, which is 5 plus 1 per level, or magical power, 10 plus 2 per level. And you can stack it up to 3 times, right? So I just wanted to show you, unless you're damaged, it will not apply to you. So if you see this and I use an ability, you see nothing's happening. I need to go get damaged real quick. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to use Leguan. Have him damage me a little bit. And then I'm going to use an ability on him here, right? I'll use my first ability. We'll talk about it in a second. But as you can see, once I use an ability on him, see how this is ticking down and that leaf went away? That is basically me using the herbal medicine on myself, and you'll see the healing numbers come up. So first of all, I can do this, right? Once I use the ability, I get the heal. I can press my 2. I get it again, right? It basically refreshes on me, and I'm healing. See the 26 in ticks? That's the heal from the medicinal medicine, right? That you'll see. So just one more time for you guys real quick. The medicine is applied. I can press 2. The medicine is applied. Now I don't have enough leaves for another one, but now I do, so I can use my third ability. Now it is it's used all the leaves, right? So you can keep kind of like applying it to yourself, healing yourself up, those kind of things. When it comes to this, and it does give you that magical and physical power. It's nice to have. It's like a little quick buff, right? When you do that. So that's his passive. So let's get into his abilities here. So Chiron's first ability is called Training Exercise. Chiron warns his enemies to evade the area, granting them 0.3 seconds of crowd control immunity, so they can escape before it explodes, and does damage to all enemies in the area. So first of all, this is the ability. It's a big ass circle. It applies 0.3 seconds of crowd control immunity, which is not a lot, but it's still enough in some circumstances, right? 0.3 is like not a lot, right? Like it's a very quick reaction time, but you can get your enemy or your allies out of an enemy CC with it. And if they know that you're Chiron and they kind of know how to play with you, or like with a Chiron, as soon as they see this thing, that initial like 0.3 seconds there, they're able to become immune. So it's kind of like when Geb shields you, you become immune, like CC immune. When Eset does her thing, like when if any god has some sort of cleanse, so this is considered a cleanse, right? Hell has a cleanse. If you place this down, you should be able to have your teammates know, okay, I can jump out if I have a movement ability or something like that. If someone's rooted, if Ymir's frozen me, like any of those things, right? They will allow you to get out, and you can even use it on yourself. So you can see I'm getting targeted myself here, right? You see the blue target? That means you've targeted an ally versus, targeting an enemy. So I'll just actually switch teams here real quick. And I'll show you. You can tell who you're going to apply this to, right? If you get the blue, you're applying an ally, right? You're applying that CC immunity. So you can wait, maybe in a team fight, if your enemy is like attacking your ally, you can basically put this down. See that like half a second he's like turned gold? That's his CC immunity, right? It's very fast. So you normally have to coordinate it, or they're like trying to mash out of that, or whatever it is. But it's normally enough to get you out of some danger, right? So really quick, if you do it, I can get both of them with this really quick. See how they both turn gold for like half a second? That's going to get them out of some sticky situations, right? So think Ymir freezes in lane. Think like Anubis wraps, like those types of things that'll CC you. If you see that happen to them, you can quickly put this down. It'll give them CC immunity. They can get out of that ability, right? So it's a nice cleanse to have, and you can do it on yourself. Like I said before, if you think you're about to get attacked or CC'd or whatever, you can do it on yourself and basically do your 1 and then 3 to get out of any sort of situation. Chiron's 3 is like a really great escape build. You saw how fast and how far I went with that. That's kind of how you use this. So if you ever think you're in danger, put your 1 at your feet, use your 3 to run away, and you should get out of most things, especially if you think like you're about to get wrapped or frozen or whatever. Just like literally do this and then 3, right? Like in that time frame, you'll be able to get your 3 out, and you should be in the middle of your dash by then, right? So let's talk about Chiron's second ability. This ability does do damage, right? Another thing I'll show you real quick is when you do damage to somebody, you'll do that, and then we'll talk about his 2 here in a second. He marks his target, right? So you can use this to get the mark, which is his second ability. So let's talk about his mark first, and then we'll kind of go into all 3 of these and kind of how they work together, right? So his second ability is called Masterful Shot. Chiron passively marks his enemies as targets when he damages them with basic attacks, training exercise, or centaurus, reducing their physical protections by 5%. You may activate this ability to fire seeking arrows at all marked targets within range, damaging and slowing them, right? So first of all, it does damage your marked target. It basically training exercise, right? Centaurus is his ultimate. So any of these will apply the mark. A basic attack will apply the mark to somebody. Your 1 will apply the mark to somebody, right? Your ultimate will apply the mark. The only thing that doesn't is his 3, right? So you can't like dash through somebody and then use your 2. So besides that though, any basic attack, right, like this, you can apply it, and then once you have it applied to them, it will last for like 3.3 seconds, which is a decent amount, and you can keep reapplying it, right? If you keep doing this, you're going to keep the mark applied, like reapplying it every single time. And then all you do is press your 2. He fires arrows. They auto, like they're heat-seeking missiles, basically, right? Spirit-seeking missiles, I don't know what you want to call them. But yeah, he fires his heat-seeking arrows, and they go, and as long as they're marked, it will attack them, right? Now it says within range, but like I don't know what the range isn't. Me personally, I don't know like what in or out of range is. Maybe if you like attack an Athena and she global ults away from you, it might be out of range. I don't know what the units are. But it always seems to be like really freaking far away. Like it doesn't matter. So watch, I'll do this. He should be marked still. Like I'm still able to hit him from this far away, right? If that's not a very good range, I don't know what is. So normally you don't have to worry about that. Like I said before, it might be somebody that like globally alted away from you, like an Athena or a Chernobog, right? They go out, they're like halfway across the map, maybe it won't work. And normally, if that's the time frame, right, within 3.3 seconds anyway, it's out of range. So don't worry too much about this in range or out of range or whatever the crap it is. You are able to hit people over walls and stuff like that. So I'll show you with Guan Yu in a second here. But yeah, it doesn't matter where they are. It will find them and it will hurt them. And the other thing about this is it applies a slow, right? So the slow duration is for 2 seconds. So if I hit somebody with a basic, the mark doesn't apply the slow, but the 2 does. And after you hit them, they're slowed for a little while. So this is a great follow-up tool, right? Even if you're just basic attacking them in lane, and you want to like catch them off guard, right? You can do something like you can either try and hit them with the 1 and then the 2, or if you can get them with a basic attack, it's actually really nice to like get them with the basic, hit them with the 2. Now that they're slowed, they can't really like get out of your 1 unless they use a movement ability, right? And then if that's the case, they either run away from you, they're now, you kind of have the lane to yourself. Then you can farm, finish the wave, go do a camp, whatever. And if they don't use a movement speed ability there, you can follow up on something like that with your 3, right? So if you hit them with a basic attack, hit them with a 2, that makes it much easier for your 1 to hit. Now you can come up here, you can use their 3 to like giddy them up and all that stuff. Like we'll talk about that in a second here, but it's a good movement like dampering ability, right? Getting a slow on them enables you to hit other stuff better, right? That's going to include your 1, that's going to include your alt, that's going to include your 3 if you want to knock them up, any of those. So you can kind of start a fight like basic attacks. You got some long basics. If you just want to do this, hit them with one of these, right? Hit them with one of those. It'll make your basics a little easier to hit. Hit them with an alt, like all that stuff. It'll just make things a little easier to hit for those 2 seconds. So let's talk about Chiron's third ability here. It's called Giddy Up. Chiron gallops forward, damaging enemies, knocking up minions, and kicking enemy gods behind him. Chiron is immune to knockup while charging. Chiron may fire basic attacks while charging. So first of all, you do damage if you run through somebody, right? And for like that time that you're galloping, you get bonus power. It will go away as soon as you're done galloping. So real quick, I'll show you. Watch in my bottom left-hand corner, you'll watch my power. As soon as I activate the ability, it goes up to 132. As soon as it's done, it goes back down to 82, right? So for those couple seconds, you get that increased power, right? That bonus power. It's 50 once it's fully leveled up. It's 10 at level 1, right? You can also fire basic attacks while charging. So this is a really good chase down tool. If somebody has just used a movement ability, so say you've hit them, right? You've hit them with this, like they're at half health. So you hit them with this, and then you hit them with that, and they're still running away from you. You can use this and fire basic attacks to go and finish them off, right? You're going to get that extra basic while you're running. You're going to get that bonus power. So your basics are going to do a little bit more damage, right? Having an extra 50 power for a couple of basic attacks is really useful when chasing down enemies. So say you have an Apollo, right, that you're versing and you're jockeying with him in lane, and then you hit your 2 and then you hit your 1 on him. Now he's running away. You can use this, follow up with like a basic or basic as he's running away from you. You'll be fine, right? You'll be able to hit him with a couple of those. And I'll show you on the left with Guan Yu here in a second too, kind of what that looks like. He's also immune to knockups while charging, which is great, just because it gives him the ability to not like he won't be knocked up by Geb. He can't be knocked up by like Bacchus or something jumping on him. When you're running, you're pretty much like scot-free with this dude, as long as you know, have enough health to like get away and stuff. But he also kicks gods back behind him, so it actually like knocks them up. And when they're kicked behind him, it kind of gives them Chiron that little bit of extra edge. So if you can dash through an enemy to like get away, or if you're up in lane and you notice an enemy behind you, if you can get in the right position to dash through them to start getting away, it's going to be really hard for them to chase you, even if they have an ability, right? So if you're able to, like, you're fighting in lane, you clear the wave, and then they come up behind you, or you're getting ganked, you want to go to your tower, you run through them while they're getting knocked up, you're running away. You're going to be really far away at that point from them. So it's really good to try and run through gods when you're trying to escape getting that knock up. You can also cancel it early as soon as you knock them up. just to get that little bit of advantage, right? Now, it won't apply like a mark to them or anything like that, but it can like throw some people off, right? So if you do this and you hit your slow and you hit your 1, right? And you just like giddy up real quick and like turn to keep on fighting them, like it could throw them off their game just a tad, right? And obviously you're doing damage when you hit them as well. So you can use that, and you can cancel the dash anytime, so you can use it as a knock up if you want as well, right? To just kind of like get in their face, hit your 2, hit your 1, right? Use your knock up, turn around, right? Get them out of position, because especially if you're chasing them, you knock them behind you, that's getting them behind of where they want to go, right? So if you're both trying to, if he's trying to go this way to escape, right? If he's trying to go forward, you can make him not go forward when chasing him down, right? So as he's doing that, you do this. Now he's back even further, and you're in between him and his goal of like maybe trying to run under tower and be safe and stuff like that. So really good engagement tool as well. Use it safely though, right? It's on a cooldown. This is your only escape ability. Don't use it if you're not going to like confirm a kill. Use it to escape if you need to, right? Just be aware of that. Let us talk about Chiron's ultimate now. Let me dip into here real quick. We'll talk about Chiron's ultimate. Chiron's ultimate is called Centaurus. Chiron is transformed into a constellation and can fire 3 long-distance shots, even through walls. If Chiron would be killed during this ability, he does not die until he runs out of time or shots. Killing an enemy with this ability when Chiron would have died returns him to life with equal health to the damage dealt instead, right? It also applies target mark. So first of all, really great damaging ability. You can use this at the beginning of a fight, at the end of a fight. If it's up and you die, right? It like during the ability, if you can kill somebody else in it, you will come back to life, right? So really quick, I'll just show you. I'm just gonna build some. I'm gonna build like a. I'm gonna build a straight up Yeet McGeet build here, which is just all ability based, because you know you'll do like a ton of damage with an ability based build. Okay, so first of all, this is what it looks like. Look at how long this range is. I can hit Guan Yu from the fountain. You can see how much damage I'm doing with an ability based build, right? That's the length of it, right? It's really far. It's basically like a big, fat, straight up arrow. Let me reset this cooldown. You can do it through walls too. You can hit multiple enemies with it as well. So you can actually, if you have vision and you're over a wall and there's a team fight going on, you can literally just pop this and fire it and start hitting enemies with it. And remember, you can use your 2 after you've used this ability. So this makes Chiron really great and really safe in team fights, because he can do damage from like nowhere near the team fight. Like this ability is so long when it comes to like the range, right? He has really great range because you can use this and his 2. If you build him like this, which is just all ability based damage, right? So Transcendence, a lot of power. Jotun's just for some cooldown on his abilities. The Crusher, it's passive. Enemies hit by your damage abilities take an additional 20 damage, right? Heartseeker, your abilities deal an additional 3% of the maximum health. Titan's Bane is just penetration. Your first ability cast gains 20% physical pen. Dominance is more mana for Transcendence, giving you more power, plus some physical penetration, plus your basic attacks benefit from adding 15% pen, right? So, this basically allows your abilities to hit really hard, and this is why you can build him as an ability-based hunter. We'll talk about attack speed builds in a little bit. But the range on this, right? Because you can do this, and you can hit him 1, 2, 3, and then you can use your 2, right? That's going to do a lot of damage to somebody in a team fight, and normally you can hit 1, 2, maybe 3 enemies with your ult while you're ulting, then 2 them all if you can hit multiple enemies, right? You're going to be able to do damage to all of them and be able to really help in a team fight. So I'll just show you real quick, right? Get some wards over here so I can see these guys. I'm going to line these guys up, and you'll see I can ult all 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Look at all that damage. And then now I can 2 all of them, right? So you can do a ton of damage with something like this in a team fight, right? The other thing is if you're going to die, right? So let's get this going again real quick. I'm going to reset the cooldowns. I'm going to go over here and let Guan Yu slap the crap out of me for a little bit. And I'll show you what this looks like, right? When you're about to die. Just get him down like real low, so I know I can kill him once he starts killing me. Come on, Guan. What you got, buddy? You gotta do better than that. What are you doing? Okay, now he's ulted me. Is he going to actually like smack me? Come on, Guan, you're so close. Do this. All right. So now, if he killed me and I do this and I kill him, I come back to life, right? So I did die there, contrary to popular belief. I did die there, and you stay that little sliver of health, right? You have that really little sliver of health, and then you come back with as much damage as you dealt there, which was a pretty decent amount, right? I was a little bit over like a quarter of health. So when you die, you have a chance, if you kill somebody, to come back to life. Don't overlook that. Use this when you are, in trouble, when you're about to die, stuff like that. And then you can sometimes, especially if you have an ability-based build like this and there's somebody in your face like Guan Yu, you should be able to kind of be able to get revived, right? You have that chance of like winning out a team fight, winning out a 1v1, anything like that, right? So you can save it for last. You can either like open with it, you can close with it when it comes to like your ability rotations, right? So a really good way. What I would do is let's talk a little bit about how you kind of use these abilities together and how you engage an enemy. So Chiron is really great because he's a super safe hunter. You can chill out in lane and you can poke a lot of people. You basic attack them just from far away. Like, hey, there's their support. Hey, there's their ADC, right? You just do that, apply the mark to them. You're going to be able to do this all game with them, right? You're going to be able to chill back and just kind of use this ability with the wave, clear the wave, press 2, right? It'll work on the minion wave too. So you can poke people constantly with him. Here, I'll show you. And by the way, I didn't get a starter. We'll talk about the starters in a second here. But I can do that and then clear the wave with my 1 and my 2. And from a very safe distance, right? And after you use your 1, you can kind of like back up a little and use your 2 as you're running away, right? So you can do something like this where you're clearing wave, you're out there. I'm going to do this on them. I'm going to run away a little bit. As soon as I see that I can use this, I can just press it again. I know I'm doing damage to that target, right? You don't even have to look at them. So you can walk up to wave, use your 1, right? Walk away, and then use your 2. So you'd like walk up to wave. Okay, use this here. Run. Okay, I know it's available. I see it pop up here. I'm going to use my 2. Now wave's cleared, and I can just go hang out on my tower. So it's really easy, like get back into a game if you've fallen behind or something like that with him. Easy to clear the wave, and if you're really in trouble, you use your 3 and you run away, and you run away really far, right? So I would do that. Just poke out with his 1 and his 2 and his basic attacks. Constantly be using your 2 when you get a chance, right? Just keep applying that additional damage to these guys, things like that, and you will do fine. When you start a fight, sometimes it's a good idea to maybe start from a safe distance behind your whole team, right? And it's like, okay, my team is about to start fighting. Okay, let me do this. See how I grabbed Guan Yu in the back there? Okay, now I got him. I'm gonna press this. Cool. I like literally killed somebody and I was nowhere near them. And then that'll put my team at an advantage. Now I can kind of come in. I can start like basic attacking and like join the fight or something like that afterwards too, right? So that's a way you can kind of engage with your ult. You can start the fight in your ultimate attack, or if a bunch of people are starting to jump on you, just start with your ult, because they might kill you, right? And you might be able to kill one of them back, stay safe, and then as soon as you're out of your ult, you're able to 3 away from the fight. So if you see like, oh, Ymir's about to come in and Basted's jumping on you and everybody, just go straight into your ult, start doing as much damage as possible. If you don't take somebody with you, at least you've done a ton of damage to start a team fight. And if you do take somebody with you and they kill you too, guess what? Now you're alive, 3 out of there. See if you can try and get out or whatever, right? So yeah, I think that's about it when it comes to his abilities and how to use them properly. Like I said, really safe hunter. You're able to poke out with these super well. This is basically just, giving you a little bit of healing as you poke things out. Your leaves are like constantly regenerating, so you don't have to worry about them. And as you're using your abilities, you'll heal yourself back up a little bit. A starter item, you can start Bluestone Pendant with him. It's really great because it is ability focused, right? Enemy hit by your damaging abilities, take an additional 20 physical damage. This makes him really oppressive, gives you HP 5, it gives you MP 5, like it enables you to sustain in lane. So it's really great for him to start with Bluestone Pendant and then go into something like Transcendence or Jotuns right away. and then after Transcendence or Jotun, get like one or the other, right? So you can stack, if you're going to stack Transcendence with him, do it by at least like the third item, so you can get those stacks in, you can get all that stuff set up. But yeah, and then so Transcendence, Jotuns, Heartseeker are kind of the core on him after you get something like Bluestone. So let me do this. I'm actually going to sell these. So the way you would build him, ability based, right? If you get a Bluestone pendant, you either go Transcendence then or Jotuns then. So I know some people that do Jotuns right away just for the cooldown. You'll still be able to sustain with mana, and then they'll get Transcendence or something like that, or vice versa, right? And then after this, you can go Crusher. Sometimes it's in meta, sometimes it's not. But with Chiron, hitting enemies with your damaging abilities, they take an additional 20% damage plus 20% of your physical power. It's really helpful, but there are other things that you can get that will be more oppressive than the Crusher. At this point, you should be looking to sort of get Pen online first. So if you want something like a Heartseeker, you can do that because it does have the 20% physical pen, although it's very expensive at this point. But these are kind of like the three items that you'll normally be buying on him. And then you can get something like, if you want some more physical pen, you have Dominance, you have Titan's Bane, which is like pretty good on him. Your first ability gains an extra 20% physical pen. So if you start a fight with your ultimate, Titan's Bane is really good because you're getting extra pen no matter who you're hitting. You're going to do a ton of damage and everything like that on them. And then, yeah. And if you want to forego, like I said, Crusher, you could get a Dominance. Just get a little bit more physical penetration. I don't see Hydras on him as much. You can do that. Brawler's Beat Stick. So if you need, first of all, it's flat physical pen. Right, it goes with the flat physical pen of Jotuns really well. And then you basically want to use it if somebody has healing on the enemy team, and you want to kind of stifle that. Brawlers wouldn't be bad to build in here, right? So this would be like a solid build on him. I would do it a little bit sooner to try and get it online, depending on like when they get their healing items. A lot of people get their healing items like second and third, so by this time they're going to have a lot of healing, like with a Bancrofts and a Typhons or whatever it is. Even if you're versing like a Soul in lane, if they have Hecate first, might be a good idea to like pick up Brawlers sooner, even maybe sooner than Jotuns, because you're able to poke her out, stifle her healing, make sure she can't like sustain in lane and stuff like that, and still do like a lot of damage, right? And if they don't have healing, like I said before, I don't see Hydras as much, but it is possible to build this on him. This would be more for like, it works really well if you're autoing. Obviously you're a hunter, so you want to be autoing, but getting the 10% physical penetration is nice on it, plus some even more cooldown, right? So between like this and the 10% from Transcendence and the 20% from Jotuns, you basically have like full cooldown with a build like this, and you're gonna hurt a lot because after you use a damaging ability, right? So you can actually auto to auto, and that 525 is Hydra's proccing right there, right? So if you do that, Hydra's comes into play like really, really well. So you can, like I said before, you auto to auto, you're going to be doing an extra damage with that Hydra's proc right there. And yeah, and it comes up often enough that it'll work. You can even like one auto them, right? Stuff like that. You can even 3 auto. Come here. So it does proc really well with you, especially since you're basic attacking a lot, right? But it's really nice with like the 2 that you can do this. So even a Hydra's would be good. It's giving you that extra pen, right? So between this, you have a 10% physical pen with this, 20% with this, 10% with that. You're maxed out at, and you have the flat pen here, right? You're going to max out your penetration. This is really good against like tanks and things like that. So you can build something like this on him as well. And then with Bluestone, basically it's flavored, right? Most people get corrupted because enemies hit by your damaging abilities are corrupted. They take more damage. It reduces their attack speed. When you apply corruption, you gain 10% attack speed, 4% increased physical protections. It's nice. This though, this is basically just they're taking additional damage. It's like an extra, the 7.5% of their current health as physical damage is nice. It's like an extra Heartseeker kind of thing. So it depends on like what you're trying to do here, but you can go either one. Normally this is better just because it's more physical power, get a little bit of health. You're going to corrupt them, and then you're gaining an advantage, especially if it's in a team fight and you're able to apply that with like something like your ult or something like that, it's gonna hamper them in a team fight for sure. You can get something like this. And yeah, and even with a build like this, you're going to do a lot of damage to somebody. 1, 2, 3, use my 2. Look, he's like almost dead. And then I hit him with like a Hydra's proc, and it's like, he's gone, right? So yeah, that's how you would build him ability base. This is normally the way I would recommend building him just in general. If you don't want to do this, you can go a more traditional route with him. So if you want to get something like, you can get something like a Death Toll or like a Leather Cow on him if you want to build him attack speed. Like I said before, I don't recommend this one as much, but you can still start with something like Crusher, because it gives you some attack speed, and then Aussie for your healing, or like a Dev Gauntlet. Dev Gauntlet's like really good on him too. In this right here, so you can start with this and Devourer's Gauntlet, and then or like a Crusher right at the start, and you'll sell Crusher like later in the game. But this could give you like a pretty good start, just like this. You're still going to do a lot of damage with your abilities. You're going to have lifesteal and attack speed, right? So you're going to be able to do this a lot and still get like those off. Do what you need to do. Still hit your 2s. Still get Crusher procs, right? With your damage and things like that. So it works really well. Plus you're getting 15 physical penetration that's flat, plus another 15 here that's already 30 just with these 2 items. Then you're going to build things like at this point you can go crit. Like a traditional crit build, you can build like an Atalanta's bow and like a Wind Demon or something. If you don't want to go crit, you can build something like Silver Branch and Kins on the back half of this. Because Silver Branch, you're able to get 20% pen on, right? And something like Kins, like you will shred just as like a regular ADC with something like this, and you'll still be doing damage, like I said, with your abilities because of Crusher, right? You're able to apply really fast attacks. You're able to still do damage with your 2 very effectively. So if you feel more comfortable just auto attacking instead of like hitting the abilities, if you're not as good at that, you like the auto attacks, this is still like a pretty solid build on him. And then at the end here, you're getting something like Executioner, or like maybe a little bit more pen or something like that, right? So Executioner wouldn't be bad. You could throw in like, I don't know, something like a Dominance if you want, or a Brawlers to still apply anti-heal, right? You don't have to go like full-blown attack speed because you're not really going to be capping out Silver Branch as much with him, because he doesn't have like the attack speed stims most hunters that utilize it are, but you would still get it because of the pen, right? That kind of thing. So you could, like I said, throw in a Dominance, keep going attack speed if you want. You could do Atalanta's bow, just something with like maybe like a little bit more power. Ichabod later in the game, not really as much. You kind of want to get it earlier if you're going to get it. Maybe if you're not going to get Crusher, you can start with Ichabod and then go into Aussie or something like that. But I like Crusher early just because he still has like really good abilities, and poke with it, it'll allow you to poke out a lot of people. So yeah, so you can go something like this. This will give you a lot of pen. And then here, if you want, you could go, if you want to cap out Silver Branch and start getting into its passive, you go Death's Temper. If you need more healing or want more healing, you would go Death's Embrace on the back end of this. And this isn't a bad build, and you're going to shred any tank that comes up to you with this build. Like, it doesn't matter. You're going to pen through like all their crap, right? You still hit them with this. And then at this point, if you wanted to get rid of Crusher, you can, or like even more attack speed or something like that. But it does give you like some solid attack speed still, right? 10% attack speed, like it's not bad. But yeah, you can sell that, or if you're planning on selling this, instead of getting Executioner here, you can get something like Wind Demon, and then you can sell Crusher for either like a Deathbringer, right? Because once again, you're not using it to cap out, you're using it more for like the crit, right? So if you want to go crit at the end of the game, you could do something like this, like a Wind Demon Deathbringer at the end there. You want to do the Wind Demon first just for extra pen, and then you're basically getting some attack speed on the crits when they do happen. And then you'll get Deathbringer after that just to make the crits more powerful. Or if you don't want the Deathbringer, you can get like a Shadow Steel here. It'll still work. This is basically still an all attack speed build. Remember, this is with Death's Embrace, so you're not capping out the attack speed yet, but like no one's going to do damage to you. You'll heal through most of this between Aussie and Death's Embrace, right? And you're providing anti-heal in a kit like this. If you wanted to get rid of this and do Death's Temper, This is when you start capping out Silver Branch Bow. Really good build right now. And as you kill more people, you'll see I'm starting to get stacks on my Death's Temper. Once I'm at 10 stacks, I'm at 14 with my Silver Branch Bow stack. So now I'm critting a lot, consistently applying anti-heal, still getting pen between Silver Branch and Wind Demon, and I still have the kin size procs, right? So just with something like this, you're able to shred some people late game, right? So yeah, that's more of the auto attack build that you'd build on him. That's about it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know they're lengthy, and I say quick god guides, but I basically just want to do a clear, concise god guide for you, and I don't want to have to like rush through his abilities. I want to explain them a little bit more. You guys learn the god in depth, but it's still not a full in-depth review, like, right? I'm not going into their health and their attack speed stats and all that stuff. But I'm hoping you guys are learning from this stuff. If you want to learn more or just play games with us or people in the community, feel free to go to the Smite Dojo. It is our Smite learning Discord server. It's for anybody that, like, if you're learning, you want to get better at the game, if you want to ask people that are good at the game questions, we have mentors and experienced players in there that can help you out, answer your questions, help you with builds, god guides. We'll play with you. We'll do one-on-one training, whatever you want. And then if you just want to have fun and play some games with us, right? Conquest, Arena, Slash, it doesn't matter. We'll play it with you. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are. We'll play with anybody, right? We want to create a non-toxic environment just to play Smite, enjoy the game. We don't have to be the best, like losing happens, right? It's okay. And we think the best way to get better at the game is just to play it more, right? And to have people that are like-minded, like play it with you, right? Smite with friends is so much more fun than solo queuing and like flaming with randoms and like typing crap back and forth because, you know, you missed like one buff or one ability or whatever, right? Like, that's dumb. We want to create a great community for Smite. We want to be able to play together, have a fun environment to learn in, and all that stuff. So feel free to join. It's going to be in the description below. You can click the Discord link. You'll be invited. Assign yourself the Smite role and then have at it. Join the community and have some fun. And if you guys haven't yet, subscribe to my YouTube page because I am coming out with a video for every single god in Smite. Eventually we'll get through them all one day. Not there yet, but one day. So thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And hey, have a good day.